I check. Is this thing on? I think it's on. Are we on? Are we on? Are the markets open? Well, sort of, right? It's one of those mornings. It's Tariff Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, Steve Strazza, JC Parets, Alfonso de Pablos, with you on this fine day. We'll have Kenny Glick stop by for a few. We missed him yesterday, so he'll be back today. And yeah, what do you guys want to talk about? You want to talk about that very short-lived, at least for now, short-lived rally in Bitcoin? You want to talk about tariffs? I know nobody wants to talk about tariffs. I kid. In all seriousness, though, we should probably talk about the uncertainty in the market or lack thereof, depending on where you look. If we're nice, if we're on our best behavior, maybe JC will share with us a couple of charts from his members on the conference call last night for ASC Premium, and yeah, that's it. We'll see where the show takes. Oh, I have a few mystery charts as well. We haven't done a mystery chart segment in a while, so we got a couple prepared for you. We'll see where it goes. Drop us a like, wake your neighbors, tell them the morning show just started, and they should tune in. And let's go.
Oh, we're back. We're back. How about that? How did we do last night? In last night's conference call.
I thought it was great.
So what do you laugh?
I'm laughing at Steve. No, last night's call was great.
What everybody else, Spencer? You
I like the calls. Unlike you guys, I don't do a lot of like looking at charts / searching for ideas during the day. But I like doing that alongside JC's conference calls. So that's what I did last night. I listened to the call and I got a couple ideas, but I also did my own little research, off on the side. So yeah,
Spencer's doing research. I like it.
I prefer the mid-monthlies because they're slightly more tactical, but the beginning of the month, he focuses on monthly candles. I'm going to pretend like he's not here, Spencer. And there aren't many people in this world who can zoom out with the kind of market perspective that JC has. Does it so well. I was turning all bearish. I was feeling all bearish. I was having a bad week. And he just zooms out with these charts that go back forever. And they make you feel so good, right? When you really zoom out on these things, it's hard to miss, especially as a US investor. And it's becoming hard to miss in Europe. Really something.
I appreciate the backhanded compliment. Like he starts off with, I like the other one better than this one, but
you know that because it's my time frame more than anything,
Yeah, no doubt. No, listen, I get it. Strazza likes it when we zoom in and we dive into specific themes, and we did some of that last night. But what we really want to do at the beginning of every month is really zoom out. I mean, that's the goal at the end of the day. Regardless of time horizon, regardless of tactical opportunities, it's just a beautiful time to just take a deep breath and zoom out and look at the major trends and then dive into how we want to make money from it and everything like that. Some of the possibilities of some of the things that can happen that could turn the market more bearish, some of the things that can happen that could turn the market more bullish, some of the things that can happen that would be further evidence of the rotation that we've been seeing right across the board. Spencer is here. We could drop the link. Anybody who missed last night's video call, I think your life has gone horribly wrong. I can listen. I can humbly say that I don't think that there's anything in this world that adds more value to a process than these calls. I could tell you selfishly myself, and Strazza just admitted it, even though it's not the one he likes the best, still adds a lot of value. So I appreciate that.
And it adds a lot of value to you too. Do you want to talk about that? Like after going through 150 charts, and spending your whole day planning the call and building the deck, like what are some of the big takeaways?
You want to know? Well, we'll talk about the takeaways in the state of the market, but just from a selfish kind of workflow lifestyle perspective, you know, when I realized how much value it added was back in the day when I lived in California before kids. I would do a lot of traveling. I would
Yeah.
specifically schedule my conference calls the day before I left. So if I was going to India, I'd do the conference call the night before I left to India. If I was going
Right.
on vacation to Hawaii or whatever, I would do the conference call before that. So work trips, you know, fun trips, whatever,
Yeah.
I would leave kind of like with everything on the table. No questions. I just laid everything out there. And that would be great for like customers of ours because like I literally just laid it out. There shouldn't be any questions, but also like my own state of mind. Like I could just leave my desk knowing that I have a very good understanding of where we are right
Yeah.
now in the market. So it's not just from a deliverable standpoint. Selfishly, I felt more comfortable on vacation or on a work trip knowing I knew where the market was. And that's when it really hit me, the real value. Now, these days I don't go anywhere. I have a million kids. So here I am the very next day talking to you about it. But the point remains, right? That's how I see it.
Like,
To
yeah.
drop the link, why don't you hit it? Let's do a little state of the markets. What do you say? What do you say? All right, ladies and gentlemen. What? Something to say? No? Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Dow futures down 120 points. That is about 0.25% to the downside, 43,130. S&P futures down 2/3%, almost. It's about 36 handles to the downside, 58.25. Nasdaq 100 futures leading the way to the downside, down 2/3%, 20,330, down 140 handles for the Nasdaq 100 futures. 30-year bond futures up again, back above 119, up 1/3%. You've got crude oil down over 1%, back under 68. Copper down 2/3%, hanging in there very, very nicely, just under 460 for copper. Gold up another 1/4%, pushing new all-time highs, 29.30. Silver up 0.5%, 32.5. With the VIX, get this, above 24. Shout out VIX. Man, people are scared. I like it. I like it. Over in funny money land, you got Bitcoin getting the crap kicked out of it once again today, down another 3,000 points this morning, 83,000 flat. You've got Ethereum, 2,000 and change, down another 3.5% to the downside, 80 handles lower today for Ethereum. Over in Solana, 133, still above 120, but really flirting with disaster here, down another 6% this morning. Total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 2.69 trillion. 2.69 trillion for those wondering. How about that, huh?
It was 3 like a day and a half ago, or a day ago. So, oh wait, sorry, Steve. 1 second. There we go.
Oh, Mr. Strazza.
It's
How do you
important.
feel about this morning's futures?
Crypto is completely shot. I think it's over.
I love how you're just like throwing out the H bar. Like, just like, no shame. Like, yeah,
No.
crypto's crashing, but that H bar, right? So,
I'm actually still in the H bar that I bought this weekend.
yeah, because you haven't gotten stopped out because it hasn't been getting crushed like all these other things.
Yeah.
H
It's
bar's
okay.
up 5% this morning. This is the old Hedera hashtag, for those who are familiar, a few cycles ago. This was a big one a few cycles ago. I vividly remember going on a walk in my neighborhood with my wife, like pushing a stroller, like texting Strazza, "You buying this H bar, bro?" It was like a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, like cycles ago.
JC,
Vivid recollection.
we won't be sending those texts to each other for years. This
For
cycle's over.
years.
This cycle's over.
Years.
Solana's about to get slammed here. It's going to break 120. Bitcoin's completing a top. Crypto stocks look god awful. You're losing the Bitcoin miners out of like a multi-year trend channel. That's breaking down as they're announcing the Bitcoin reserve. Here's what crypto investors need to
This
be.
is important.
What?
Preach. No, guys, pay attention to what Straz is saying, because
You don't know what I'm about to say.
usually this type of thing comes out of my mouth, right? This is usually me ranting and raving. Strazza, I think he's been hanging around with me too long. Give it to him. Give it to him straight. Pay attention, folks. Listen to this.
If you're crypto bull, you have to be realistic. Crypto is just like any other risk asset market. The the news cycle has peaked, at least for now, probably for a very long time. What do I mean by that? This is not just a high bar. This is the top of the mountain. The US government getting long. Think about where we came from just a year ago. Crypto was public enemy number one, fighting with the head of the SEC day in and day out, getting sued. Regulators were all over these guys. They couldn't, it was nothing but red tape. Now that's completely changed. They have a friendly, favorable regulatory environment to operate in. And the US government completely flipped the book and is now getting long. You won't get a better headline because it's impossible until an institution with more money than the US government gets long. Feel me? Right? So this is it. So the reaction to this headline should have been huge. I'm talking fireworks. And it just wasn't. Right? We blasted off Sunday and then they completely undid everything. Volatility, momentum really spikes in both directions at major turning points in the trend. And you're seeing that. Monster up days, monster down days, right? Across the board. Right as these tops are completing, right as big levels are being broken, right as the crypto stocks are completing big tops. MicroStrategy. Typically when Michael Saylor does the rounds and he's doing interviews all morning on the networks, MicroStrategy stock is rallying the whole time. Guess what it did yesterday? It fell the whole time. At the early stages of bull markets, prices rise on bad news. We just saw it with China. But the same is true in reverse. In the early stages of bear markets, prices fall on good news. Right? If good news isn't good news, it's probably bad news kind of thing. That's what's going on with crypto right now. Sentiment is so important. So I hope, JC, the charts we're going to mark up in the future that say Trump announces Bitcoin reserve, and then we're going to circle this big top and say that's exactly where it happened. Isn't that perfect? Doesn't this happen all the time?
No, I think what you're saying is that bull markets end on good news when the market can't appreciate on good news, right? Just like bear markets end when the market can't go down on bad news. Kind of like I remember vividly in the summer of 22, getting back to TradFi and equities. In the summer of 22, I remember telling you, being like, why aren't stocks going down? This is like July, June. Like, why aren't stocks going down? It was just bad news every day. And like, stocks weren't going down and they weren't going down. I was telling you, like, I'm like, are you paying attention to stocks are not going down? Is there, right? You're saying this is the opposite of that. Why aren't cryptos going up? Brian Armstrong's not going to jail. Not at
all.
The Trumper is buying the Bitcoin and the alts. Like, you're getting better news than you thought. No way in hell did anybody think Cardano was going to be on that list, or God forbid, freaking Ripple. You're getting the Ripple, you're getting the Cardano, you're getting all of them. You might even get this H bar. I mean, I don't even know.
That announcement beat all of the street's expectations.
All expectations, right? Beat, raise, and it fall, right? Is really what's happening here. So, I think Strazza is making a great point. I mean, I think you're being a little dramatic, personally, that you think like the whole world's coming to an end. I don't know about all that, but you are making very valid points. JC's getting a Bitcoin mining system to heat the pool. That sounds toppy. I don't know. Not things you see at Lowe's, not things you see at Tross. More like things, in the chart will say JC installs.
Yeah.
By the way, we got approved by the township yesterday. Not officially, like there's like some line, like wink, wink, like just tell me which change to make and I'll make it for you kind of thing. Like we don't need to do a whole thing, but we officially got approved. So the pool and the Bitcoin mining operation is going in simultaneously. I might even order the Bitcoin miner today just to play around with it. I don't know.
The sentiment charts I'm going to make. And look, I ended my note yesterday with, now I'm watching everything else, because this is like the first domino to fall. If what I'm saying is true, there probably are implications. Okay, who knows how long it takes? Crypto peaked almost a year before. Most of the crypto market peaked almost a year before the broader equities market last cycle. We see different things, right? I'm not even saying crypto peaking, rolling over, entering a new bear market means U.S. stocks or global equities can't keep going. But it's something I'll be watching a lot more closely. U.S. equities, the price action has been absolute garbage recently.
The fact that it's now 18 minutes into the show, we haven't put up the first chart yet is a crime. That's a chart crime.
Could Europe
Lack
carry
of
the whole,
chart crime.
could Europe carry the whole global equities market? Could it just be Europe or
They
Europe
used,
and
they
China?
used to a few hundred years ago. I'm pretty sure they used
Yeah,
to.
it's not. So it's 2025. Could
Are
Europe?
you referencing the Roman Empire? Because if when that got popular, I was like, I told Morgan, I was like, babe, if your friends ask you how often your husband thinks about the Roman Empire, you fucking tell them your husband thinks about it all day. That's what I told her. And she looks at me like I'm crazy. And then like a few weeks later, she was like, hey, why is everybody talking about the Roman Empire? I was like, this is that. We're talking about the Roman Empire. Can we look at the chart, please, Strazza? Slide 2.
My question.
Isn't this just everything that's happening? First of all, I apologize ahead of time for my diagonal trend lines. I know. I couldn't help myself. I when I see it, I can't unsee it. I had to include them. Is it okay? Are you gonna let it slide? No?
Well, what's wrong? The trend lines?
Yeah, the diagonal. You know how I feel about diagonal trend lines, but it is what it is.
You got a couple touches there. You're okay.
I'm okay. Okay, valid. Okay, it passes the test. Passes the test. The diagonal trend lines are the exception, not the rule. We are a horizontal trend line crew, like the Crips and the Bloods. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. We're horizontal. Anyway, so isn't this the story, Strazza? Isn't this it? Like Europe doesn't have growth. America has too much of it. Americans have their recency bias, where growth has been the big winner for so long. Americans have their home country bias, where America has been the greatest place for so long. Now it's growth underperforming. It's America underperforming. And if you go to the next chart, and I'll let you chime in, not the next one, slide 4. Is this why? Next one. Is this why investors are the most bearish they've been literally since the market bottom? Go to the sentiment.
I'm surprised it took you this long to show me a sentiment chart.
I mean, dude, I don't care who you are. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both closed at the highest levels in human history less than 2 weeks ago. Literally, tomorrow will be the 2-week anniversary of those all-time highs. For the record, S&P and the NASDAQ. And individual investors are the most bearish they've been since literally the bottom of the bear market last cycle. Like,
hey,
JC, like you're not like, this doesn't stand out to you as like, wow. No,
we had a pretty negative reading as the top was completing in January of 2022, though. Maybe not this negative. Yeah.
I mean, this is aggressive, bro. No?
It was hitting multi-year lows back then too. I don't know. Look, it's interesting. Sentiment's getting interesting.
Dude, come on.
Sentiment's
even for you have to admit, like, wow, these people are scared shitless.
Everyone's talking about the fear and greed index out here like all day. You see that? A lot of fear and greed.
If you think that the fear and greed index is not,
it's getting a lot of play.
Criminal.
It's getting a lot of play right now.
Criminal. Has anybody taken a look at what's in that thing? Like, that's for serial killers.
Robert in the chat, I think he asks a valid question. Why aren't we talking about shorts? So we were getting ready to put on our first breakout multiplier.
Put on a short yesterday.
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
No. So we were going to do like our first put for breakout multiplier. I didn't want to get long a put into yesterday's freaking disaster of a session. I mean, absolutely disgusting. Yuck. Follow through day today? Yikes. Things are breaking. Do we have the mags? Can I show one?
Go back up to the first 2 charts.
You're not done yet?
Think that there's a lot of this going on? You don't think that it's really this rotation? And go to the next one where you can see really what the big losers are so far this year. This was going into yesterday. This is tech, discretionary, Bitcoin. So this is high growth, high beta, and they're the only things down this year. Healthcare is breaking out to new highs. Healthcare was up yesterday. Financials continue to act well. A lot of these industrials, see the artists formerly known as General Electric go out at new highs, new 20-year highs. Yeah, the artist formerly known as Raytheon, RTX, I believe the kids call it these days, also hitting new all-time highs. Both of them got kicked out of the Dow Jones Industrial Average for more tech. Thank you, the good folks at Dow Jones. Shout out. You don't think it's that? You think it's the world's coming to an end? You think all these individual investors, all these Republican boomers from the Midwest, all 200 of them, go to the 200 Republican boomers from the Midwest,
Stop,
please,
dude. You're missing it. It's not rotation. You're losing the other groups. Semiconductors completing tops on a relative basis, and probably completing the top on absolute basis.
Hold on, let's go there.
Home builders. Home builders are completing a top. ARC. That
have they completed the top?
Failed. Back in the box. Look at small caps right now. Everything's below their election VWAPs, and a lot of things are breaking their August 5th VWAPs. Look at the mags. Now you're losing mags. I'm not talking about on a relative basis anymore. You're losing these groups entirely from a primary trend perspective. So this is like nothing to see here. I don't think because you're not wrong. Industrials, financials, even healthcare, some stuff is holding up really well, and that's driving the strength and the performance in Europe that we're talking about. However, are those value or cyclical groups just going to keep whistling through the graveyard if charts like this and levels like this are breaking? I don't think so. This is like triple Q's 500 right here. If that goes, that's big.
Hold on, what is triple Q's 500? Yeah. Go to the semiconductors, the new slide 2 there.
Yeah, show some of these tops. I don't think the rest of those groups hold up if we lose the areas of the market that are weak right now.
Be honest. Did you listen to the conference call last night, Strazza?
I started to this morning. I haven't finished.
We talked about all these things. So like people were like, oh, JC's missing the forest from the trees. I don't know what the hell that means, forest and trees.
I didn't say anything about you
all the things that we've addressed all of this already. This is what Strazza's talking about. New 52-week lows here for semiconductors on a relative basis. Does this mean that the bull market is canceled?
I would imagine that you did discuss this. I don't know why you're trying to actually me. I assume that you would discuss this. These are great charts. You always discuss these charts.
Just saying.
Well, not everybody got to hear.
How about the fact that I showed the most bullish semiconductors chart in the world yesterday? Did you know that? Did you know that I have the most bullish semiconductors chart in the world?
I didn't know this.
I did.
No.
Would you like to see the most bullish semiconductors chart in the world?
Please show me. Yeah.
So this is the most bearish semiconductors chart in the world. Facts only. Now I'm going to show you the most bullish. Nobody's talking about what I'm talking about. Show them the most bullish semiconductors chart in the world. And it's not like it's so bullish. It's probably the least bearish semiconductors chart in the world. It's probably a better way to explain it. Tell me I'm wrong.
This is crazy, huh?
I know it's crazy, right?
That's crazy. Wow. That belongs in a textbook.
Right?
Indecision.
So would you agree that ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are not familiar with the infamous doji, dojis are historically evidence of indecision, very specifically indecision. And when you look at the last 7 candlesticks in the semiconductors index, holy shit, does this mean indecision? So we're in a box. Like, is this bullish? I mean, it's in an uptrend, so it's not bearish. But I mean, when you talk about neutrality, when you talk about indecision, holy shit, like those statements are understatements for what's happening here. Like this is the definition of indecision. In a box, in that range. Frustrating for those trying to participate. Right. I am not or haven't been. So, I mean, I personally don't give a shit.
You know what it is? It's a massive coil. It's a huge coil.
It's a massive coil. Yeah. Is it though? It's kind of just like a range. I mean, it's like not even a coil. If you know what I mean? It's like not even that.
If you look at the daily from like September to February, it's just been really tight. And now it's popping and you're getting a downside resolution. It's got 200 written all over it, does it not?
How about this one? Throw up the news slide 2 there. So this one, kind of bigger picture here. This is a huge one. And I cannot think of anything more bullish on the planet, and tell me if I'm wrong, the most bullish event that can happen to equities all over the world, especially American ones, is for the NASDAQ to break out above 20,000. Would anything can you think of anything that would be more bullish for equities, particularly American ones, than the NASDAQ composite breaking out above 20,000? Go.
Bitcoin. Oh no, you said equities.
No. It could be Bitcoin doing something could be beneficial for U.S. equity investors, sure. But the answer is no, Spencer. Nice try, though.
Breaking out above 20,000 or breaking down?
Well, breaking down would not be bullish for investors, right? I think we can all agree there. My question to you is there anything, and I'm not saying it's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Oh, you're looking at the composite. Sorry.
In a hypothetical situation, that the NASDAQ composite one day breaks out above 20,000, is there anything you could think of right now that would be more bullish than that?
Just think it's the wrong question to ask right now. But yeah, sure.
Why is it the wrong question to ask?
Because it just broke down like literally a day ago.
Okay, well, these are monthly candles. These are monthly candles, and we've had one day that's been traded this month. So relax. Remember, this is monthly candlestick day, right? Like, take a deep breath.
It just completed a little
like to breathe. You know how you do your leg exercises in the pool? You do the breathing exercises, right?
Yeah, but when you drill in, the question asked here is not, well, what's a breakout mean? It literally just broke down. It's moving in the wrong direction. The question should be, where's support? No?
All I asked was, can you think of a hypothetical situation that would be more bullish? Anything. It could be anything. It could be Spencer's Bitcoin. It could be anything that can happen on Earth that would be more bullish than the NASDAQ composite breaking out above 20,000. I can't think of anything. And by the way, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just posing that hypothetical situation.
Fine.
All right.
It would be
so
great.
The answer is no, you can't think of anything?
I don't know. It would be great. Dude, a lot of these risk appetite indicators are failing breakouts. Like, I'm looking at that kind of stuff too. I need damage to get undone. You know.
I can't think of a better time. Is Kenny here? Do we have Kenny?
We do have Kenny. How'd you know?
No way of knowing. So, look at it. I love when Spencer turns red. Can I get a shout out? Can we get a thumbs up when Spencer's face turns red like a tomato?
I know.
Come on.
Right?
Is that one of the best parts of the show?
You're so cute.
Shout out, red-faced Spencer. We love you, Spencer.
This is my I'm annoyed face.
Bring him out.
All right, come on now. Where's Kenny at?
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they tell it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Best part's the end.
What up, son?
Best part's the end. Yeah. What's up, y'all?
Hey.
We just doing that thing. We just doing the thing. We buying things, we selling them, taking profits, taking losses. Just another day in the life.
All right. Let me tell you something. Again, if you guys don't know, Big Al's okay. He had to get some pacemaker. My dad is a trooper. He went local anesthesia, and he's sitting there. He's like awake while they're cutting his chest open. Meanwhile, I'm freaking out in the other room, just looking to take sedatives myself. But yeah, he's out of there. But he did say something important. He pulled his bid. Normally, my dad sees this volatility and he's buying in the queues. For the first time, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna let it bleed. I'm like, what? I was like, how about sell? No, he's like, I'm not selling. It's still a bull market. Don't get nuts. I'm like, oh,
are you fading your old man, or are you riding with him?
Well, I'm still short out of the money calls, but I just alerted the room that you might want to be covering shorts and going long right now. Again, about 15 minutes ago, you had a little faux show bro on the queues, and if you're just trading, you're long the queues right now. All right.
Let's double click on that. If you could throw up the chart, can you explain for the newcomers what a faux show bro on the queues means?
Kenny's world moves so fast.
Talking about
your world moves so fast. My head is spinning, Kenny.
Hold on. And if you, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know the faux show bro, it might sound silly, but holy shit, is it genius?
And it's working right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah. So
tell them.
Well, basically, I don't have my charts up, but the fake out, shake out, breakout, the faux fake out, show shakeout, and then the breakout, faux show bro. It victimizes the bears. It also victimizes the long trader, because what happens is people have their set stops. They isolate their trades. All right, if it breaks here, I'm going to sell. If it breaks here, I got to get out of the rest. And that's the fake out, shake out. So the market seeks out those stops, because we all understand there are stop hunting programs. So it fakes you out, it shakes you out, and then it comes right back. and then it tests those levels from on top. That's the trap. So the shorts get encouraged because you're breaking a new low. The longs get stopped out. So now you have a perfect storm on the other side. The longs say, oh no, I just got out of this trade. I need to get back in. And more importantly, moronic shorts like me say, oh no, I'm going to get my ass kicked again. I better cover. And then you get that move to the upside like you just did on the Qs at around 8:31. As I alerted my room, I was like, listen, I'm not getting involved because the way I stay bearish, I'm just boycotting the bull right now. And I boycotted the bull on Friday afternoon, and I paid for it. I wasn't short getting ripped apart, but I said, listen, guys, I'm not participating. I'm just boycotting this move. And I think what's going to happen, this is a bullshit move on Friday, and we're going to gap up on Monday, and we're going to roll over. But now we're on turnaround Tuesday. So if you bulls are still out there holding on to hope, you better turn around today. But you wanted to see the market start down and build a base from here. So right now, the faux show, that's going on right now. So whether you get the bro part, that's the big test right now. But right now, you're above VWAP on the Qs. The faux and the show has just happened. But in the faux show, you're able to make a day's pay. And as just day traders, again, who's not worried about what's happening tomorrow or next week or 3 years from now, you're in the Qs long and you're making a day's pay. And that's what it's all about. And most stocks do that. That pattern replicates and replicates. And as an algorithmic volume weighted average trader, that's all I look for on the day. And then there's another one that's the blow off top, which is basically the opposite of the faux show bro. And you just sit here all day and wait for these opportunities and strike. And that's what we do. That's what day trading is all about.
Kenny, can you talk about the time horizon, right? So this morning, the Qs got above, right? So you had the faux show bro and the Qs. So that means it's higher, long. Like, is this something for the afternoon? Is this something you think has legs for the rest of the week and then some? Like, what exactly is the time horizon?
Well, the time horizon works on all time frames. It's whether or not that the faux and the show hold. So it works on the day trade, and right now that's intact. But the trades that we do intraday on the daily, on the day, you can extrapolate that or expand that to any time frame as long as you get the faux show bro. That's why I was right there on the quantum stocks, because they had all faux show bro. Then they went again, Andy Dufresne, which is another thing we could talk about this some other time. But you get the fake out, the shakeout, and sometimes you don't get the immediate breakout. But as long as those bottom levels hold on any time frame, those bottom levels now are your new stop. So again, as far as I'm concerned, again, as the resident bear here, I'm not participating in this move, but my room is, and I'm glad for them, good for them. I'm just sitting there stalking for a reason to short again. And right now there isn't a reason, but I'm just looking at this market with the idea that the Qs are going to 475. I'm trying to hold on to that hope. And then you could have the market back. I just want to crush it just for a couple more days. Just a couple of days, get people scared. And then again, I always have a bullish, end game, because I'm not a delusional bear. We're not going to zero. The market's not, it's not going to just stop going up. Okay. I used to think that it's over. We're never going up ever again. And that's what delusional bears think. It's over. Every stock's going to zero. We're never coming back. I know there's going to be a level where I become super, super bullish again, but I want to let it bleed first. I want to see some pain. I want to see the Barron's article come out that says, we're never going up again. This is it. The bear market's going to last forever. And that's when I come in. I'll be bullish.
What else is on the move this morning? We still got earnings coming out.
You got to look at OKTA, big software company. Been trading it forever. That had the faux show bro this morning. The shorts had the morning, but then it faux show broed around 96.50, and you got back to the 99. Now we're going to see who's boss. It's not a very there's not a lot of volume on the stock. So again, as the bear here, I'm looking for it to break 98 and slam it. And but if it's above 99.50, chances are I'm not going to be short. So OKTA, looking at that, and just looking at some of the names that again, this is the typical bull market mantra, right? Like a Palantir. Man, if that stock pulls back to 80, I'm loading up. Are you? Are you brave enough to load up here at 80? No, they're never brave enough. It's when the stocks go back to these levels that everybody talked about, they were definitely going to be buying it. Then they're here and everybody's afraid. So I'm looking for Palantir again to test that 78.50, and I'm going to load up because I waited for this move to come back to under 80. I'm going to be buying Palantir under 80 today. So, and if it breaks 75, we could be going back to 50. Say what? Palantir at 50.
You know, I really like that gap fill right there at 85.
Yeah, I think the 70. This is the major range. If this stock has to put up a fight here, or if it breaks down under 78, we could legitimately go back to $50. It's just a stock, people. And again, I still love it. I still think it's coded 255 years from now. But man, if it's at 50, I will definitely step up. But I'm looking to step in, maybe buy some here.
Yeah, if this gap fill doesn't serve as support and they lose this, when you talk about 50, like I'm thinking under 50. But yeah, I think you're right. It's now or never.
Yeah, and I really want to punch Carvana in the face, like hard. I really want to punch the stock in the face. I think it's going to give way down to that 175 area. They tried to sucker the bulls in. I was hoping it was suckering them up to 250, but again, I'm stalking Carvana for a breakdown again. And if it gives way, you're looking at least another 30, 40 points to the downside.
All right, one more before you hop, Kenny. We don't have a guest today, so we're going to lean in on you for ideas. One more.
Cool. Well, you know what? Here's the stock that I got my ass caved in, TTD. And I said, listen, this is where I usually try to
How does one get an ass caved in, out of curiosity? Are you trying to leave the cave? And
let's just get my head bashed in. I was long that trade on earnings day. And usually I try to fight my way through it. And I was like, all right, I'll buy some more. I'll try to dollar cost my. And I was like, you know what? This stock looks like it's going to 65. And it did. So now at 65, TTD, I'm going to see if it puts up a fight here. I'm looking at for a long on TTD. But right now, the Q's long. The room is loving it. And they're all up about 2 points on this trade. UVXY is fading. Your bulls are starting to get their their confidence. But listen, at 9:30, the game changes. So make sure if you're long right now, you're still selling into this move. And again, I'm loving the Qs long. At the same time, I still think they're going lower. And that's why I'm doing a lot of talking to the room, because they're trying to figure out, wait a minute, are you long or are you short right now? Overall, I'm naked calls on the Qs. So in theory, I'm very short the Qs, but I'm short from further away. The day trade, you're long the Qs right now from the 8:30 faux show, bro. And again, Now that we've gotten over VWAP, we're looking for them to spike maybe to the 496 is the next target. Obviously, big fat whole number. But the answer is not where it's going to go. It's what you're going to do when they sell off. And that price is 494.82. So if it breaks back under VWAP, get the hell out of its way. And then we'll see where we are at between 9:30 and 9:45, because that's when the game really begins. 9:45, once they get all the noise out and we chop around, we get some faux shows, and then we strike. And I got another one of these weird stocks for you, MASS. Again, don't like it, but I like it right now because it's tried to break down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and it's holding this 335.
So I was going to say 908 devices. Let's figure out what this company does.
They have 9. There was 907 devices last week. Now they have 908 devices.
Hey now.
Wait a minute, JC. This is your theme. This is medical devices.
Yeah, but it's under 100 million in market cap, so I honestly can't take it seriously.
Yeah, crap. But it keeps holding prior support, and that's where the buyers keep showing up. And if it's above, what's this price? If it's above 355, you might be looking back, right to 375, and you know what happens then. These weird stocks break pre-market highs.
It's a tidy market cap.
Yeah.
It's trading volume because it's up 76% today. So it's trading, but it's tiny. So just be careful. This thing is moving. Jeez Louise.
Right. You only got 15 cents of risk. At 335, that's what we call the hard stop. You break 335, the stock's probably going to 3 and then 0. Just be careful with these garbage stocks. But now,
even these garbage stocks that are worthless, when volume's coming in, they're more liquid than they are.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Absolutely.
Kenny Glick, ladies and gentlemen.
Be careful out there. I'll see you in the room.
Hitthebid.com. See you there, Kenny. Adios. And
YOLO responsibly. I really like the fact, we talk about multiple time frames here a lot. Granted, Kenny's like a Brian Shannon disciple. Right. So it shouldn't be a surprise that he's talking multiple time frames. I'm a Brian Shannon disciple for all intents and purposes. So we're always talking about multiple time frames. But even on an intraday basis, short the NASDAQ over the last couple of weeks, long the NASDAQ this morning on different time horizons. Like the market is fractal. So that like mindset of, it might be a little short term for you or just right, but that can be applied in larger time horizons where like Strazza could be long a stock in his IRA, for example, but then shorting the same stock today for a 2-week trade, right? 2 different time horizons, 2 different strategies. Love that.
Was talking to Brian yesterday, and we were both marveling at there's no better tool to navigate the market for short-term people than the VWAP. Like it's a fact at this point. Wish Kenny was here to back me up. There's nothing better. We were just talking about how like almost to the penny these August 5th VWAPs, the election VWAP in Bitcoin. If you're not using the election VWAP to get you in and out and navigate your way with Bitcoin over the past couple months, what are you even doing? Every time. Ping, right to it, right off it. We retested it hard yesterday, got slammed off of that level. It's just great.
Steven, we were at the stock exchange a few months ago, right, in New York, and Jay Woods was showing us around. Jay Woods told us that in his opinion, the greatest innovation of his career was VWAP. The greatest technological innovation of his career was VWAP. That's what he said.
So real.
It changed the game because it showed everybody what average was, right?
And these institutional guys know that better than anyone, because that's a word that they're using all day long, every day.
Speaking of Jay Woods, Jay Woods is a professor at Fordham University.
Professor, I love that.
Shout out to the Jesuits, and I am speaking at Fordham tomorrow.
Tomorrow evening. That's so fun. Good for you.
So it's in Lincoln Center, so I don't have to go to the Bronx.
I was going to say, you going out to the Bronx?
I would have, and then we go get some Italian at Arthur Avenue. Like I would have been totally cool with that.
What's wrong with the Bronx, Spencer?
Nothing. When I was growing up,
there's a lot of things that are wrong with the Bronx.
Yeah, actually, the Bronx is better from what I hear. But
most things in the Bronx are not great.
Okay, whatever.
But those parts of the Bronx that are great are fantastic. You got Yankee Stadium. You got Arthur Avenue.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah,
probably
that's it.
No. There's some nice residential areas in the Bronx.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, there are actually. Really nice.
You have the Arboretum or whatever it's called. Anyway, moving on.
My favorite bridge in New York City, up in the Bronx, the High Bridge. Are you guys familiar with the High Bridge? These Italian aqueducts?
No.
Dude, the High Bridge. You guys don't know nothing about bridges, bro. You guys got to step up your
He loves bridges. It's
Dude, the High Bridge in the Bronx is like, go look at the history of that shit. You guys don't even know. Amateur hour here with these bridges.
I don't know which bridge you're talking about because I don't
the High Bridge. It's very high.
It's rare that I cross.
Yeah.
Anyway,
dude, the High Bridge is the most dope bridge. It's right by Yankee Stadium.
Okay.
It's Spencer.
I probably do. All right, moving on here. It is 9:16. I have some mystery charts, but Steve wants to play a game. We didn't even talk about Target yet. Can we talk about Target or something, please?
Let's talk about Target and let's play a game.
Do the earnings. Yeah. Ooh. Go ahead.
What was that? Okay, Target. So when last I checked, let's check again now. Yeah, it is down 3% this morning. On a overall solid report, Jeff Mackey we were talking to him yesterday. He was all over this. The numbers were fine, right? They were. The EPS beat, the sales beat, the comparable sales, that's the year-over-year sales, that beat. The guidance that they gave, the EPS guidance, that was okay, right? The net sales growth guidance, that was not great. That was a little bit light. They did talk about profit pressures, consumer uncertainty, tariffs, yada, yada, yada. In any case, by and large, the numbers were better, and it doesn't matter. It does not matter because the stock is down at least for now, is down 3% this morning. So,
Target's become one of those companies that just seems to do everything wrong.
They do less with more. No one does less with more than Target.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in it just due to the trend here. This has just been so ugly for so long. So not surprising that they're not rewarding it again. The stock's making, I don't know, it's hitting its lowest level in a year and a half pre-market. So that's a bummer for Target. I think that I saw a press release that stood out this morning. Uber, guys. Okay, what do you think that their delivery business is worth a year? How many, like, in sales?
Now
Now, again, they're not making money on the food, just the delivery and the little charges at the end. What's the total market? What's like their
are you talking about like
revenue run rate?
like not the B2C delivery, like the B2B stuff, like the Uber
Yeah.
Freight? I have no idea.
Not great.
I
Almost
don't
30
know.
billion. 26 billion. I saw 26 or 28 billion a year. That's massive. Like, to put that to put what's a good Nvidia, for example, right? The earnings growth powerhouse. They're making about 40 billion a quarter. If they can keep that up, what's that? 160 a year. Uber's delivery business, 30. That's solid. That's a big business. Just saying. It's really impressive.
Yep.
I got something that I want to mention on the Target front. Something I've been thinking about. So this is throw up the new slide 2 there. So this is, I think this is a good look. I think this is a really good look. So this is the Gone Too Woke index, right? So these are the companies that went too far on the woke side and pissed off all the Republicans.
You just
right?
can't help yourself, can you?
No, these are the big 3. It was these 3 and BlackRock, right? But BlackRock's not publicly traded.
Red,
right?
white,
What?
and blue themed.
Blackstone, JC? What are you talking about?
They're both
BlackRock.
publicly traded.
BlackRock.
Yeah, they're both public.
Are they?
I have a recess, and it's about Blackstone. I hope they're listening.
Oh, yeah, BLK. It's publicly traded too. Anyway, so these are the Gone Too Woke companies. I just finished reading the book by Charlie Gasparino called Go Woke, Go Broke.
This
and
is what
it
he's
was
talking
really
about.
fascinating. What's
This
that?
is what he's talking about, right?
Yeah. These are the companies. These are the big 3 companies he's talking about. Target, because I think they were putting like rainbow and trans things like in the children's department or something like that.
Yeah, they wanted the little boys to wear the trans panties.
Right, exactly. And then Nike with the Nike things, obviously, and then Disney, obviously, with all the woke stuff. So anyway, so these are the companies that are basically highlighted in the book. And if you notice, like a lot of stocks peaked in late 21, early 22. All the good ones have exceeded those highs, gone on to make new all-time highs. A lot of the indexes, these have not. But I like Nike from the long side. I like Disney from the long side. Obviously, I own them both. Target, not so much. But the other 2, I really, really like, in the same way that Tesla owned the libs in the back half of last year because the libs got so upset with Elon. I think there's a similar scenario with the Republicans that went too far also. Like, granted, the libs went too far with the woke stuff with these companies, but then I think the Republicans like overpriced that, got crushed, and I think the Republicans get squeezed or continue to get squeezed in names like Nike, in names like Disney, maybe Target, but there's no evidence of that. Certainly the bottom 2. And I think in the same way that the libs got owned with Tesla, I think the Republicans get squeezed with these 2. I do.
And listen, JC, you make a great point. And these problems are easy to fix, right? It's easy to fix. Like Nike, stop hating America. Disney, not every main character in your new movies has to be non-binary, right? Like, this really easy stuff to fix. So
why does Nike hate him? Actually, I don't even want to know.
I don't know.
They were signing contracts with people that were kneeling for national anthems and stuff like that. Like, they were pissing off like people that wear like American flag hats and stuff like that.
I retract my question.
Ask them. I'm not the one who did it.
I mean, I don't give a shit. I'm just here for the entertainment and to make money. So I really don't care at all what any of these companies do. I'm just telling you what the sitch is.
I'm feeling entertained. No.
And by the way, Charlie Gasparino, on that book, he reads it himself, which is hilarious in his like Brooklyn accent, or I think he's from the Bronx. Either way, very thick New York accent. And his passive aggressiveness, like if you think I'm passive aggressive, like this motherfucker can't even finish a sentence without taking a dig at someone. And by the way, he's taking digs at Trump and Republicans. Like he's not, this isn't like a partisan book at all. He's taking he's just hating on everybody. It's really spectacularly hilarious.
Wow. Nike hates men too. I didn't even know that part. I'm really rooting for them. I'm long Nike. And how about Budweiser? Does he talk about Anheuser-Busch at all? Did they just say, like, did Shane Gillis just save them forever? Is that what happened? Everybody loves them again now?
No, I think what's his face? The Michigan guy. What's his name? The long hair.
Kid Rock.
Kid Rock.
Oh, that's what. Yeah, okay, right. Kid Rock saved him.
All right. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know anything about that.
Kid Rock
You
is
should
just
read the
like-
book, Spencer.
Yeah, I should. Real fast, since we mentioned Target, we also want to mention Best Buy. Best Buy's down 5% this morning. Earnings beat, revenue beat, guidance beat, dividend raised by a penny, and doesn't matter.
Yeah, don't you just love Kid Rock?
No,
I mean,
what
what is that?
No one likes Kid Rock. I thought.
Really?
Hold on. Isn't the Kid Rock
he's
bar in
great.
Nashville? That's the one with the big stage, right? Isn't that Kid Rock?
First of all, JC, all those Nashville bars, the artist just licensed their name. Okay.
Yeah, fine, but they're all different, and some are better than others. I'm pretty sure it's the Kid Rock one. It was freaking awesome, like awesome.
Kid Rock is an American hero. He was great when I was growing up. He was just great. Fantastic. I see Kid Rock, puts a smile on my face.
That's some gringo shit. Cubans don't listen to Kid Rock. That's
I
some
mean,
gringo shit.
I'm not standing here telling you his music is good. I just think Kid Rock, yes, American hero. I'm on board with that.
Right.
Cubans
Okay.
don't know nothing about that.
He has that one good song, Cowboy. Okay.
You guys want to play my game? Hold on. Shout out Soundhound. Made so much money on this stock. Just filed we can't file our 10K filing.
Hold on. One more thing on the Target. Go back to the woke chart. Can you just tell me, do you think
Wait,
Target has
what?
Go
Yeah.
back to the woke chart.
Go back to
Down
the Soundhound.
15%. Down 15% pre-market.
Holy.
What do you guys think? Target, should it be included with the other two or no?
Dude, I don't know. Like, it's not my bullish thesis, the wokeness.
Yeah, I don't.
But I like the story. I'm entertained by this chart. I enjoy it.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Strazza enjoyed it. This just
Yeah.
in, ladies and gentlemen. Strazza admitting that he enjoyed my chart.
Who wants to play a little game? JC, you
Let's
got
play
time?
a game. Let's play a game.
You got 5 minutes for a game?
I got 5 minutes for a game. That's all I got, actually. 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Fonz, are we ready? You got the charts for the game?
Yeah, all right. We're ready.
I don't know what these charts are. Fonz has chosen them. But the game is, how bearish is it? I'm going to show you guys a chart. Okay? And you could either say not bearish, it's bearish, but I don't know how bearish. It's definitely bearish, or it's very bearish. Okay? So that's your bear scale.
Okay.
JC, are you listening to anything that I'm saying?
Every word. I can't. I'm just taking it all in. Just the soothing sound of your voice, Strazza. I'm taking it all in.
And just so you guys know, when we are ignoring each other, it's because we're reading you. We're reading the chat, right? Sometimes JC or Spencer, they ask me something, and it seems like I'm.
For the record, I'm not reading any of the, I never read the chat. Rarely do I read the chat. And I'm listening to every word you're saying.
Chat.
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready for this.
Alfonso.
Yeah. Alfonso,
Cue him up.
do something.
Let's go.
I want to be so fast. So fast. All right, bang. How bearish relative tops in the semiconductors? Go.
How bearish on a scale of 1 to 10?
One's more bearish than the other, so it's almost a trick question, but have your pick.
Are you asking which
know.
one of these is more bearish?
No.
How bearish is
6?
this? You're
Hold on,
losing.
explain to the folks what this is, because not everybody knows what XSD is, first of all.
Semiconductors lead traditionally in bull markets. The best bull markets, semiconductor leadership. It's just a common characteristic.
In that
697?
2003 to 2007 bull market, how did semiconductors, were they big leaders
Listen,
there or just laggers the whole time?
Go buy utilities and talk to me in 5 years. Let me know how you did then.
6 or
Alright.
7. 6 or 7, Steve. That's I don't know.
So the
6 or 7
XSD,
bear
correct me if
scale?
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Strazza, let's explain to the folks. The XSD is equally
10.
weighted.
Yeah, fine.
So you're looking at on the black line is an equally weighted chart of semiconductors relative to the S&P 500, completing this massive top and breaking down to new multi-year lows. The blue line is semiconductors on a market cap weighted basis, which are the most important ones, NVIDIA, Broadcom, and TSM, and that's it, right? And they are also, so on a market cap weighted basis, also completing a much smaller top, but nevertheless a top, year plus long topping pattern, also making new 52-week lows.
How
Is any of
goddamn
this
bearish
bullish?
is
The
it?
answer is no.
So, okay. How bearish is it?
Can't even play.
How bearish is it? I mean, within the context of everything else going on, probably not that bearish.
No.
But in isolation, like in a vacuum,
That's
I
the
would say
question.
it's really
That's the
bearish.
question. That's the question. Yes.
Yeah,
Right there.
in a vacuum, yeah, it's pretty bearish. Yeah.
We're not going to get through this, Spencer. Next chart. How bearish? Home builders topping out here. This chart's breaking down today
This is on
live
an absolute basis, to be clear.
in 2 minutes. You could watch this breakdown live from your desk chair in 2 minutes. Here, how bearish?
I mean, you can see a pre-market already, Strazza.
How bearish?
Well, we respect closing prices around here, but nevertheless, assuming that this breaks down, like semiconductors losing those lows on a relative basis, I would put this in the exact same category.
Yeah.
Okay, next. Spencer.
Yeah, 6. Why not?
I think it's super bearish. ARC. This was a textbook reversal pattern. We used to look at this chart and say, wow, how beautiful. Even the worst, the shittiest, most speculative stocks in the United States market, even they are in new uptrends now. The path of least resistance is higher. We can't say those things anymore. None of them.
I got to tell you, Rachel makes a great point. For mystery charts, there's really not a lot of mystery.
He's throwing mystery charts. Steve hijacked my game. This is not that.
Oh, okay. All right, I see you, Rachel.
So now I'm anchored to my ratings from before. This can't be more bearish than semis, so I'm gonna have to say like 5.
Yeah, I mean, ARC has been in the
relative.
ARC has been in the old Pichadou for quite some time. Pichadou is French for shitter. Strazza.
This is
how bearish,
how bearish, sir? Does this chart scare you? No, nothing.
Shit is still shit. Like I wouldn't put this one in the same category as those other two.
Rachel, you're right. That's a great suggestion. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Now this was no bueno.
This is awful. This is so bearish. This is bear market action. This ratio is not going down. Okay, it's getting absolutely hosed with momentum. Okay, from failed moves come failed moves come
fast moves.
That looks like this. That's what comes. What a disaster. This is the most important risk appetite indicator, and it's getting absolutely destroyed out here.
That's the most bearish chart you've shown yet to me.
Can you throw up the new slide 2? I want to hijack this quickly. Hold on. Let's stick on that. Discretionary staples. Let's stick on that.
Hijacking, hijacker.
Well, I'm adding to your point. Is really what
Can I just add? Pichadou is Southern Italian, JC. It's not French.
Is it?
That's what Urban Dictionary says.
I thought that was French. What do you think? Like this, to Strazza's point, like your consumer discretionary staples ratio, like this adds fuel to exactly what you're just describing, right? We broke down below the dot-com bubble lows. And
critical level. Absolutely. Yeah, share that post. I don't know what it is. So, oh, yeah, some charts to scare you. This is in it.
The same thing. All right, go ahead.
Absolutely, JC. It's the momentum with which these relative trends are being lost, though. Like the XLY, XLP, I don't have it in front of me. I would imagine that RSI is the most oversold in however long. Let me see. I'll look it up. Bring up the next chart. Let's keep this moving, Fonz. What a great game. RSI most oversold since pretty much the bear market lows in the XLY, XLP. It's overbought just in December. Okay. Credit spreads. Oh no. We say, oh, look at the bond market. No stress. Not the case. Not the case. The bond market's not over here saying everything's fine, guys. Is it?
Like all these charts are like within the same 5 to 7 range on the bear scale.
This one, I wouldn't put this one in the same category as those others either, at least not yet. Your semiconductors, valid point. Your homies, valid point. Your staples, relative, valid point. I think those are the big 3. This one, and the ARC one, The other ones, I think you're spot on.
Do we have any more? We can end with Bitcoin and the mags, Fonz. But let's just keep running through because the list is really long. We have our internal analyst team meeting today. We're going to make a bear list. It's really long now, right? When you take the bullish evidence and you weigh it against the bearish evidence, very little on the bulls list these days. And the bears list, it just keeps growing. So it'll probably be a long analyst meeting to go through all this bearish evidence. This is gone. If you look at the candle right now, see ya, losing the 200-day, losing the VWAP. That's acted as the floor for this literally since its inception.
This is not bearish yet.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Because you're a bag holder. What did you tell Mary last week when she was on the show? Don't sell your crypto?
I'm a bag holder in what? That's not what this is.
Well, when do you like to sell things, Spencer?
I don't know. When I feel
charts break.
When I feel like it, I just sold Meta after a couple years. So
that was a great trade.
I sell when I feel like it. I don't know. But
well, that's not a good process.
I have different time horizons for everything. There are some things that I have no patience for, and other things I have a longer leash for. It all depends. But
I pray for your portfolio.
okay.
Praying doesn't work for portfolio risk management.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into the religion stuff here.
Like when Joe Fahmy, I don't know if you guys know, but Joe Fahmy was a religion major in college.
Love that.
So when he does his presentation, which I've seen a million times, I can give his presentation for him. We joke about that. Joe's like, I was a double major, I think, like in economics and religion. So he prays that he makes money in the market. It's funny.
Hey, we have wait, before we got a surprise appearance from Patrick. Should we bring him on here for a few and then
yeah, bring him on. We'll do a little recess and then we'll hop.
All right.
Yeah, I have no trades to make.
Hey, what's the deal?
Yo.
I don't understand how liking Kid Rock makes me a stoner. He's not a pothead guy, is he?
I don't think so.
I thought he's like a beer guy. He's like a farm boy.
Yeah, he's
No, Kid Rock.
I think other things you do probably make you a stoner, but like that specifically, probably not.
Yeah, Kid Rock is more of a day drinking vibe. Anyway, Pat, what's doing?
What is doing? A lot of crazy stuff going on in the market, right? It's like every time you wake up.
Are you sleeping or are you just up all night trading futures these days?
No, we're getting sleep. It's the way to do it.
Robert says the market's blowing up, Pat. Is it?
Let's see. Down about 1% in a lot of the indices. China's up. A lot of China's up. You got JD.
Yeah, that's been an interesting one. We're long.
Yep.
I'll be looking at that report, right, and wondering, is it even real? Is any of it real? That's what I think about when I go.
I just assume it's not. Yeah. I just assume they're lying to us. No,
I mean,
you actually wonder whether it's real or not.
Here's the thing, right? Like with shit like that, for me, it doesn't matter if I think the numbers are 100% fake. The market moves on it, right? And I want to know about the kind of stuff that the market's moving on and what the market thinks. It's more. It's this tangled web that we weave in terms of what happens versus expectations and the way that price reacts to it, right? Right. It's a lot going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I just assume that they're lying to us, and that life is just better that way.
Probably.
In fact, in many cases, I hope they are. Like the bigger the lie and the bigger the scam, the more money we make. So great.
And how about these European stocks yesterday? Yesterday was like one of the best days in the past decade for Europe.
Yeah, well,
the US.
European banks are down 2% today. Germany's down 2.5%. Like they gave it all back.
No, but Pat, talk about that. Talk about that because that's what we call starting line momentum, right? I'm looking at these relative trends, international versus US relative trends, and I'm thinking, nice start, but we're not even halfway there. There's so much work to be done before you can look at any of these relative ratios. I'm talking about any of the diversified indexes, right? The European ones versus the US indexes, just use SPY as the denominator. There's more work to do before you could look at them and say, oh, primary trend reversal. But some initiation type momentum readings would be a huge step in that direction to saying new uptrend underway, right? New valid trend reversal.
So explain what that means. Now you're talking about on a relative basis.
Yeah, you want to see like a blowout in the relative charts rate of change. And Pat called out, he texted me last night because we got a big move, even on a 1 day basis, it starts somewhere. If you see that show up on the 3, the 5, the 10 day, that's beginning of new bull market type stuff. And it works with the relative trends just as it does with the absolute. So go ahead, Pat. What was the ratio you were looking at when you texted me?
I mean, you look at like VGK versus VTI.
So it's Vanguard Europe versus Vanguard total market. Best day since, what was it?
Yeah.
Best day in how long?
I think a lot of that might be the relative strength in financials just in general. I mean, financials, even here in the US, had a great week last week when the market was.
This was one of the biggest rotation days ever in that ratio. Maybe the biggest of all time. I don't know if it's bigger than that 2022 reading.
You mentioned that you're looking for like weekly rate of change more so than just a daily.
I want it on like at least a 5-day, right? So if it's on a 5-day,
so rolling 5-day, not so much a calendar week. Rolling 5
like
day.
I'm not gonna go writing home about a 1-day, right? But if you give it to me on a 1 week or a 5-day, that's
yeah.
good
But
stuff.
if you've got a 5-day and you also have the 1 and 2 days, like just adds to that, right?
Totally.
Like what will happen in
Absolutely.
China in September.
You'll usually get, if you get the 5-day, a lot of times you're gonna get the best day ever situation in there, right?
Yeah.
You get both usually.
Yeah, no, that's probably right.
With China, that was the case last fall. Right? Best
And then
day
it's
ever.
not just on an absolute basis, but China relative to Japan, China relative to the U.S., all of those things.
It's
relative
just better
to
that
India.
way. It's better that way when you get them on both the absolute and the relative. We got it in China, India a long time ago.
Did you get to the point yesterday in the call where I was giving you props about the India rotation?
For China, India, I appreciate that. I was giving
China his flowers. I was giving Strazza his flowers.
Look, we
were right.
We were asking, where's the money going to come from? It's where it poured into the prior 5 years, and now it's just coming out of there.
Yeah,
So,
I underestimated the power of that rotation. You were you nailed it. Like
here's
you
the thing.
You really nailed it.
I appreciate that. And I don't know much about these countries around the world, but I do know some things. I've heard a lot about India. I love India. We have a lot of friends out in India. However, they trade at multiples close to the United States. United States gets a premium valuation. You guys get that, right? Stocks in the US trade at higher multiples than stocks around the world that are maybe doing the same thing. Okay. We earn that premium, that valuation premium. India has a similar one. However, if you go talk to anybody in India, the country itself doesn't do business with each other. There's like 8 different groups. And if you're one religion versus another religion, you don't even do business with each other. They have some serious economic problems over there.
Come on.
And to trade at these, to trade at these premium valuations as an emerging market economy just doesn't make sense.
Can we talk about what's happening here?
Yeah, it's getting absolutely lambasted relative to China, but on an absolute basis too. You can't own that. It's a nasty top. It's a great chart. Love it.
It's a great chart. Absolutely lambasted. That is the quote of the day. Quote of the day.
It's a good word. My
lacrosse is getting absolutely lambasted. I don't even know how to spell lambasted.
My high school lacrosse coach overused that word for about 4 years when I was growing up. Like after every game, we'd be in the locker room and he'd be telling us how we got fucking lambasted. Because we used to play teams like Greenwich, Staples, Darien. I mean, we would win a couple of games a year. And he just.
Why, does Greenwich not have a good basketball team?
No, I didn't play for Greenwich. I went to St. Joseph's. I went to a little private school.
No, they're good.
Oh, so you guys were the ones getting beat up.
We were getting lambasted. You know.
Is that why you were the star point guard? Strazza was the star point guard because there wasn't anybody else to play basketball?
I'm not kidding. Guys, in lacrosse, I played a position called X, and you're basically the point guard of the offense. And I was playing against some of the best defenders in the world at these high schools like Greenwich and Darien. And I would just be cradling, and they would just be wailing on my arms. By the time I got back to the locker room, just full bruises, just both arms. I would just wear it. I hated it. I hated it so much. I hated that sport.
Cubans don't play lacrosse. Cubans don't know what lacrosse is.
Man.
God,
we don't do that.
Ass kicked out there.
We play baseball.
Anyway.
Somebody in the chat said
banks are short.
We're
regional banks are getting crushed this morning.
That's no way. I mean, hey, we already lost the chips. We already lost.
Can we do a little recess? We got trades to put on. Can we put?
It's a vibe right now. The interest rate sensitive groups aren't doing what they're supposed to do, as interest rates are literally collapsing. If banks ain't going up now, and they weren't last week with rates doing what they were doing, where the hell are banks going? They're going lower. We're about to get slammed. I love banks.
One of the biggest
Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan both hit our upside objectives this month. Those are kind of important banks, by the way.
Lacrosse is hot, Rachel. You're right. You're right.
Lacrosse is hot.
I feel hot telling that story.
Dude.
All right. On that note.
Just want to give some love to Fordham and the other fine Jesuit institutions around the country. Shout out to the Jesuits. I will be there tomorrow at Fordham with our friend Jay Woods. schooling some youngsters on market analysis.
I think that's awesome. You better make it count, give a good talk. I remember a lot of the guys who came in and talked to my college classes back in the day, and a lot of those talks, stuck with me. You have a real chance to make a difference tonight. I'm happy for you. I hope you
It's
knock
tomorrow.
it out.
And should I ask some questions, get some sentiment data, or they know nothing? It's not worth it.
We'll get them involved. We talk about fun things, so you want to have a fun talk so that they're not sleeping on you. However you want to
Hard
do
to
that.
sleep with me yelling at you for an hour.
Yeah. You don't know. Hungover college kids. You never know.
They're not going to be hungover late afternoon.
I actually, you're right. I heard college kids don't party anymore. There's no drinking.
That is true. That is true. The kids, they don't go out. They don't party. They don't make bad decisions. Like, what kind of life is that?
Full market for the parents. I'm all for it. Sounds great.
You got to go out and make bad decisions. Come on.
Listen, there's a situation here in the Florida Keys. I just want to say, I sent Pat some newspaper clippings this weekend. Blackstone, I see you. We all see you. Okay. It's called the Bubba system. You don't just roll into the Florida Keys and start buying everything up. Okay. This is a locally owned town. Can't do that. So they're getting in trouble every other day. They're in the newspaper. They're illegally clearing things. They just bought the Cemex plant. They bought all the trailer parks. They're buying everything in the Florida Keys. And everybody's talking about it. People are noticing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. They're playing dirty already. Getting in lots of trouble. And then they're blaming the local businesses. So very interesting stuff. Blackstone in the Florida Keys.
All right. I am doing I haven't fasted for a day or in like 6-8 months maybe. So I'm doing it today. Who's with me? I'm putting it out there so I have some like sort of social proof that I'm trying it, and I need I have the social accountability. So
I'm frying pork chops tonight.
Let's fast.
I already
Who's
had
with
2
me?
egg muffins today.
Who's with me? No one's with me on the fast. Pat, you want to do it today?
I'm with you in spirit.
Fast.
I'll do it with you next week, Spencer. Next
Wait,
week
so
I'll do it.
do you do sundown to sunset? Like, can you eat at night?
Sundown. I'm going to attempt to go until like tomorrow, like late morning. That's the goal. It's tomorrow.
How many
late morning.
hours are you shooting for?
Well, I guess last night till tomorrow, hopefully around noon, right? So that's like a day and a half, right?
That's 36 hours.
Yeah.
Gotta go 40. Gotta go hard 40.
Wow, whoa.
Once you're past 30, getting to 40 is easy.
No, that's right. Once you get past 24, it's actually not that difficult. But getting to 24 is the hard part. So
really, and that's science, huh? So
that's just my own experience.
Science, Strazza.
It's the first 24 is hard. After that, it's actually like really not that bad.
Strazza's like the first 2 hours is hard for me.
No, this is fun. So just to be clear, we're fasting like all food or just carbs? All food? What? Just carbs? Fuck you guys.
Now that's the quote of the day. That's the quote of the day.
I just
like all.
This has been fun. Look, it's a fast market. We got puts to buy. Can we go?
All right, we're going. Smash the like. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
All
Turn
right.
around Tuesday.
That's too good.
I can't take no